A very deadly night in Ukraine as Russia tries to derail President Zelensky's arrival with the coalition of the willing of European leaders fighting for democracy who are now in Washington, D.C. But Zelenskyy will not be deterred despite the horrors, which I'll talk about in a moment. As Zelenskyy landed in Washington, D.C., the Trump regime demanded that Zelenskyy wear a suit. They said, "You're not coming to the White House unless you wear a suit." Zelenskyy's answer, he's wearing a t-shirt because he is a wartime president actually engaged in courageous acts defending his people, and he doesn't bend the knee to the fascist Trump regime, just like he doesn't bend the knee to the fascist Putin regime. Now, talking about what happened in Ukraine last night as Putin tried to cause mass chaos before these meetings in Washington, D.C. today, which are about to take place. We saw many people killed in the Zaporizhzhia region, in Kharkiv. We saw little children who were killed by Putin at night as Putin dropped ballistic missiles and Shahid drones in Ukraine, terrorizing Ukraine, killing innocent Ukrainians as he has done for so long. President Zelenskyy has just met with Keith Kellogg, the envoy. He was supposed to be the envoy to both Russia and Ukraine, but Putin didn't like him. Putin just wanted to deal with Donald Trump's real estate buddy, Steve Witkoff, who has no clue what he's even doing. He did not want to deal with a general like Keith Kellogg. So Kellogg is just the envoy to Ukraine now. He got demoted. You see him meeting there with Zelenskyy. Zelenskyy delivered a very strong message. Zelenskyy says it is impossible. Take it off the table. We are not giving Donbass to Putin. We are not ceding territory. If you think we're coming here to the United States to give up chunks of Ukraine, you have a big mistake, Kellogg. You are utterly mistaken, Donald. Let me deliver this rude awakening. I'm here with Europe. We want strong security guarantees, and we've always said that we're ready for a ceasefire, but we are not giving up chunks of Ukraine, you idiots. Now, what's actually happening on the front line right now in the war from Russia's invasion of Ukraine? Russian tanks are now decorated with United States flags. Folks, you can't make this stuff up. That's what the result of Donald Trump's meeting with Putin is. Putin now giving American flags to go side by side with Russian flags on the tanks in the front lines of the killing of innocent Ukrainians. These images are being shared right now at lightning speed on Telegraph and other apps in Russia. And you see these tanks now all with American flags. It is utterly despicable to see that. Donald Trump doesn't care because Donald Trump wants the alliance with Putin. Donald Trump looks up to Putin and he hates democracies. He hates NATO. That's the reality of the situation. I'm not afraid to call it out what it is here on the MeidasTouch network. Now, Ilya Pomerenko from the Kyiv Independent writes the following. What's very interesting is that Zelenskyy can end this war at any moment, but surrendering his country and betraying his people and his heroically fighting military, but Putin at the same time absolutely can't. He is unequivocally forced into slaughtering hundreds of people on battlefields and murdering peaceful Ukrainians in their homes every single day. Go figure, because Donald Trump kept on posting yesterday, Zelensky's the one who can end this war immediately. Just give up chunks of Ukraine. Stop it. Okay, Zelenskyy wants the ceasefire. Zelenskyy courageously fought back against Russia. Everyone said, oh, Russia was going to be in Kyiv in 3 days. That didn't happen at all. And then originally in Russia's initial push, it got like 35% of Ukraine, and then Ukraine pushed back, and now Russia only occupies about 20% of Ukraine. And I saw the estimates from credible intelligence agencies said it would take another 4 to 5 years or end 1 million Russian casualties to get anywhere near the land that Donald Trump just wants Ukraine to give up right now to Russia. Again, completely pathetic. Now, one of the things you may recall as well is that when Donald Trump met with Putin, Putin said to Donald Trump that the American election system is rigged against Donald Trump and that Donald Trump needed to get rid of mail-in voting. They have mail-in voting in Russia, by the way, but Putin said, you need to get rid of your mail-in voting system, Donald, because you really won the 2020 election, playing into Donald Trump's demented conspiracy theories and lies. And so what does Donald Trump do today? It's like, okay, Putin, I agree. Based on what Putin said, Donald Trump then posts the following this morning. I'm going to lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots. And also, while we're at it, highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial voting machines, which cost 10 times more than accurate and sophisticated watermark paper, which is faster and leaves no doubt at the end of the evening as to who won and who lost the election. We are now the only country in the world that uses mail-in voting. That's just 100% false. Other countries do internet voting. All others gave it up because the massive voter fraud encountered. We will begin this effort, which will be strongly opposed by the Democrats because they cheat at levels never seen before by signing an executive order to help bring honesty to the 2026 midterm elections. Remember, the states are merely an agent for the federal government in counting and tabulating the votes. Remember when these right-wing people were like, we're for states' rights and state voting and states this. Your states don't do anything. We're the big federal government. We're going to put National Guard in your states. Our National Guard will be the people who determine what happens in an election. This is just more of Don. And it's just like, let's look at the bottom of this. It just goes on and on and on. It goes, I and the Republican Party will fight like hell to bring back honesty to elections. The mail-in ballot hoax using voting machines that are a complete and total disaster must end now. Remember, without fair and honest elections, wah, 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 wah. Again, this is why California Governor Gavin Newsom is saying, treat these fascists as fascists. They're trying to rig the midterms. They know they're going to lose. They know the American people hate them. They're doing what Putin does. They're doing what fascists do. Fight the hell out of these fascists and call them out and stop playing nice. Don't just fight fire with fire. Hit them back hard. Hit him back hard. Alexander Vidman goes, this is a perfect example of an effective influence campaign. After meeting with Putin, where Putin questioned the legitimacy of mail-in ballots, Donald Trump launches a campaign to end mail-in ballots. I don't think many people understand how easy it is to puppeteer Trump. Newsom writes, Trump knows he's going to lose in 2026. His plan to rig new congressional seats is going to backfire thanks to California. Now he's clamoring for other ways to cook the results. This man reeks of desperation. Let's keep up the pressure. John Haltwinger writes, maybe, and just hear me out, the president should not take advice on voting elections from an authoritarian leader, Vladimir Putin, who has ordered interference in U.S. elections, whose opponents tend to wind up imprisoned and dead, and who stayed in power via blatantly rigged elections. And then Michael Freeman goes, and now Trump is posting a lunatic screed today about eliminating mail-in voting and voting machines, proving how easy it is to put ideas in Biff's head that can help destabilize our elections. Remember, here's what Donald Trump said after meeting with Putin. In his own words, here, play this clip.
Oh, Vladimir Putin said something, one of the most interesting things. He said, your election was rigged because you have mail-in voting. He said mail-in voting, every election. He said no country has mail-in voting. It's impossible to have mail-in voting and have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now instead of dead. And he said, and you lost it because of mail-in voting. It was a rigged election. But mail-in voting, Sean,
now, the Trump regime propagandists continue to take to the media and claim, recruitment is so high up in the military right now. Look at all the women we're recruiting now in the military. They're using all AI images, by the way. I don't trust their figures at all. You have over here, Gavin Newsom continuing to do what he should be doing, mock punch back, bully Trump and MAGA the way MAGA always, this is how we've always treated MAGA here at the MeidasTouch Network, like the pathetic losers that they are. They don't scare us ever. We stand up to these losers. We've always called them out, and it's great to see California Governor Gavin Newsom bullying them. Here Newsom talks about, here was Newsom and here's J.D. Vance in high school. Zelenskyy posted, I thank General Kellogg for meeting and for the joint work of our team. When peace is discussed for one country in Europe, it means peace for all of Europe. We are ready to continue working with maximum effort to end the war and to ensure reliable security. These are the key issues. And he goes on to talk about the Russian attacks of Zaporizhia and Kharkiv and other areas that resulted in the death of lots of children last night. And he also talked about how Russia is striking an Azerbaijani company, and other stuff there. So keep you posted. Let me just show you this too, just to show you what a good debater Gavin Newsom is and why we need fighters like that out there. Remember when Gavin Newsom had this debate with DeSantis? Here, just play this clip.
I'm the only guy here that's a border state governor. You're trolling folks and trying to find migrants to play political games to try to get some news and attention so you can out-Trump Trump. And by the way, how's that going for you, Ron? You're down 41 points in your own home state.
I just wanted to show that to you because that's the fight. We need people who are just going to take this fight to these fascists. We have a fascist regime in the United States. We're going to call it out every step of the way. We'll keep you posted. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
New Meidas merch. Head to store.MeidasTouch.com today and get yourself the best pro-democracy gear and show your support. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.